Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be working on my 2013 Jeep Wrangler, and we're going to be changing out our shocks. These are the Rock Sports from Metal Cloak, and I'm replacing them with the same exact ones that are on here. They are not a lifetime shock. They are a little bit more of a cheaper version of a shock, but they have good amount of comfortability. And they have by far some of the most flex in a non-remote reservoir shock. So I am definitely impressed. With these shocks, I do have the outboard mounting on the bottoms for the front. You can see here the plastic covering on this shock definitely got a little destroyed from flexing. So I'll be removing the plastic covering for the shocks that I put on. Before we get started, I wanted to show another little product that I have here. This is from STKR, and it is a under hood light. I believe this is 1,000 lumens. And then it's also got these little hooks here. Strong magnet there. Strong magnet there, and let's turn it on. You can also rotate it so it angles down a little bit. And if the magnets don't work good for your hood, there's also hooks on the end. You can adjust this to whatever size hood you have. You can just hook it on the hood like that. It doesn't have to actually be magnetized. And that is nice and bright. First step is going to be remove this inner fender liner. Now that we have this inner fender liner removed, you can reach that nut right there. That's the top side of the shock. Next, you need to remove the bottom bolt, and that's going to be an 18 millimeter socket and wrench. The shock will want to come down like that. We got to move this plastic piece down. That way we can hold the shock tower from spinning. Now we can fit the 19 millimeter wrench inside here. And now you can loosen this nut on top. And just like that, your first shock is out. Take all your rubber bushings out. There'll be a rubber bushing up top here. Remove that also. And then you can take your new one. They come shipped this way. So you can just undo it. The nut is inside this little plastic piece. So just remove that. So to take off this plastic cover, you can put it upside down and then push it down against the ground. That way this plastic piece is removed. So let's do a little comparison of the new shock compared to the old one. Let's push down. It takes a good amount of pressure to push down all the way. And here you can see it's coming back up. And let's do the same for the old one. And that is so easy to push down. So now we can reinstall the shock. And we're going to be starting with this top nut. And it looks like the way they have these set up, you'll have the bottom bushing, and then on top of the bottom bushing, you'll have this washer. So you have the bottom bushing, and then you have the shock tower, and then you'll have this other washer, and then you'll have this other bushing, and then another piece of metal sandwiching it. So now I'm going to start by putting the top mount for the shock in. I've got the bushing, and I've got the other washer on the top. Push it through. You put the other bushing on top. And then you'll put the other washer on top. Put the little other, or drop it. And then start the nut on there. Once you start the nut, it'll all hold everything together. And then the next step is going to be to push the shock up. Take your bolt. You want to line up that hole with the shock. just like that. And tighten the nut on the back side. Now you go back and tighten the top of the shock. Actually, I ended up using this little light, kind of gave some good light around here. Magnetic remote. Now we can finish putting this back together and we'll go to the rear shock. All right, now it's time to install the rear shocks. And you can see I have the relocation brackets here. And I cut off the original shock mount. Give me some more ground clearance. The rears are a lot easier. We start with the 16mm bolts up here, and then we'll take off the bottom bolt. And then installing it, we'll start with this bottom bolt because they have these washers on the outside. It's difficult to try to start with the top and work against the pressure. If you didn't have these relocation brackets, probably start with the top bolts and then work your way to the bottom bolts. Then you can start with aligning the bottom with these extra shims on here. And then you can compress the shock. Angle it upwards and line it up with the holes. And then you can retighten your bottom bolts and you can repeat for the other side. All right, well, that's how you install shocks on your 2013 Jeep Wrangler. Found this video useful? Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll also put a link for the lights that I was showing on this video. That is again from STKR. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. The other light that I wanted to show, just in case, let's say your garage light is not bright enough, if you only have one on the garage door opener, this is the same thing from STKR, and this is their overlanding camping light. Easy to open up, comes with a nice bag. Open up these feet. Tighten this. And this is adjustable up to 10 feet. And it also has a little wireless remote. So let's turn it on. Open this up. And these are just adjustable with friction, depending on what height you want to put it. So now we can see our whole working area. And then if you want to turn it on or off, you have the remote. That is nice and bright. Change the brightness settings. And that is on the lowest setting. And you can still see around. Let's put it brighter. If you're interested in more information about these lights, I will be creating another video showing all the details on these lights. I'm actually going camping next week, so I will have some more footage of me using this light. But this will be nice. Imagine off-roading, you need to air up your tires. This is nice and bright.